As obviously ByuN has been in the finals of one of these monthly Open Cups before as well. He lost to Spirit in that epic 3-2 back in April. That was an awesome result. As in the bottom right, a red Terran player from the Shopify Rebellion. This is ByuN. Best of 5 grand finals. As in the top left-hand side, it is going to be our blue Zerg from Onside Gaming, Solar. Alright, next map of the best of 5. Let's see what we get, see what gets going. Get this underway. Hello, Ellie. Ellie, babes, I think Ellie Cam's still broken. I think Ellie Cam still doesn't work. You can't actually go on the camera. I think you broke it, so you don't have to go on camera, Ellie. Is this true? She walks away shamelessly. She's like, oh god, I'm figured out. Abort mission, abort mission. She out of here. Predictions. Oh, you guys are such gamblers. And then I'll do the predictions quickly. My StarCraft will lag when the predictions start. I have no idea why that's a thing, but it is apparently, so apologies. One more time. There you go. These two are chatting away. These two played in GSL just the other day, of course, as the first Reapers start up. They talk about their worst matchups and they go into soju talk. They're drunk. They're drunk, are they? Well, you know, it really looks like they've been playing drunk today, guys. Right? This level of StarCraft we've been seeing just clearly not what we usually see, right? Question marks. I look shiftily left and right now for backup. These guys are just so at one with StarCraft. They can play StarCraft drunk as though it's no issue, right? They're just so in touch with the game and you know what they do. Their macro just comes second nature to them. As the Reaper is going to come around and put some damage out. Lings and drones are not going to be having a great initial time, as the second Reaper is going to join up shortly, and Solar will have to deal with that in the very near future. So here comes Reaper number 2 to make life a little bit more difficult. Queen is there to punch back a little. And so far so good in terms of this initial little bit of the setup. Factory coming through as well. Queen gets there with the Lings as well coming through. Grenade is good to bop a few Lings around a little bit. A third Reaper showing up as well. Factory is about to be halfway done. Seeing the CC coming up also here for just a few more moments. And yeah, obviously with 2 racks of Reapers, we can go straight into a third command center. So we're already moving into that next step here as ByuN. He's not really having to slow down. His economy is going to stay in a pretty solid place. He's just going to continue through with this for the moment as we have our Reapers just coming around in the main base a little. Wonder what the best race to play drunk is? I'll probably figure that out if you just took an average of all of the yummy. If you took an average of all the home story corrupt results over the years. Probably give you a pretty good average of which race performs better when players are drunk, hungover, or something of the sort. Feeling a little bit sad that his Reapers got caught. Solar absolutely loving it. Shout out to Maddox, he's translating for us today in the chat. ByuN saying that this was not his play, apparently. No, this was the play of a drunk ByuN. Blame the drink, ByuN. Tell us you're hammered. Tell us you can barely see straight. That's what we need right now. Copium. The copium. Couple queens, handful of drones all coming out. We do see the Raven and Stimpack both building through on the side of ByuN as well. So let's say, and if it was 2016, only if it was 2016. I think what he says means by 16 ByuN is 2016 ByuN, like when ByuN won the GSL, when ByuN won the World Championship. I assume is what they're referencing there as well. I was going to talk about the translations. It's fun. The Raven's kind of fun in TvZ as well, though, right? Not something you see all of the time, so I think that's a little bit unique. A couple engineering bays coming down, and Stimpack just about to finish up. The Medivacs and Marines all coming through as well. It's Raven coming all the way into the top right-hand side and going to move through the top and try and get something done with a couple of auto turrets here or there, I would guess, in the next little bit. Okay, the nest is halfway through for the moment. Hatchery still just getting started. The additional drones on the way out. Lings are producing. So far, so good. Let's work back around to that right-hand side and just going to start pushing across the map in general, as we do have ourselves the 1-1 in combat shield a long way off, but the medevacs are here. The Marines have got their stim. They can start to try and find some damage in these next couple of moments. So on we go as our Marines move forward. Hatchery will begin to take a few shots, but Solar has Lings nearby. I'd be shocked if the 4th base was allowed to be cancelled. That would be, in my eyes, not something that should really go down. The medevacs do end up lifting away, pulling back just that little bit. Water turret is there for a couple more drones as well. It's just going to knock those down pretty much straight away too. Rest of our Marines still being healed up. Medevacs doing what they can. And the extra depots continuing up in production. Marines are there. The Lings and the Queens will be pulling back. Just going to be seeing our 1-1 upgrade still coming through. A couple more creep tumors going down as well. Tank, Marines, etc. Just continuing with what he knows best. Marine tank for the moment into an armory so he can start 2-2 upgrades. It's not going to be perfectly on time, but close enough, I guess. Not going to be horrendously late or anything, to be fair. Marines and medevacs continue around, then just going to be seeing a Marine still on a little bit of a move around for the moment. Raven still out down to the south, and we do have a little bit of Ling Bane motion coming around also. Dennis just passed halfway done. The 1-1 melee upgrades coming through. Tanks are sieged. Marines are pressing forward. We've got a few Marines on that right side as well. To drop an anti-armor missile. Bunch of Queens going to take some shots. First medevac already going down. Now some Marines jumping forward on the right, left-hand side. The few Banelings coming through. Marines are going to get blasted. Factory is about to finish this Ling run by. How much can we get done here? Solar decides to back it up. Not sure if he had to, honestly, as ByuN's going to go running for his splash damage. The Lings, I guess, are going to come in for the surround. As this last siege tank here is going to hold for just a little longer, perhaps, is now going to go down. And Marine's going to be there to help push things back as well. Still medevac over on the edge. ByuN starts +2 armor. Don't forget +2 attack, though, ByuN, as he gets the next bit of gas. He can get +2 attack started as well, so he will start that up. I feel like his gas just came out of nowhere, and I wonder if he had something queued up that he had to stop and cancel for just a second to free up some of that gas, just free up a little bit of what he was getting done. Another Ling counterattack going to find an instant surround on this siege tank, so goodbye and good night to the siege tank there. He's going to go for a hatchery top right-hand side. The Ling's coming through, trying to get some damage dealt. Queen is going to be taken down. The rest of these Lings getting picked off as well. Baneling's trying to roll on forwards. This few Banes still trying to make their way in. Just going to have the Raven going back around. Maybe an auto turret even to help out. Although these last few Lings in the corner not doing enough. The tank fire got rid of the Banes, but the Marines actually did get caught a little bit. Coming out to the left-hand side, Raven overhead. Marine's going to take a bit of a stim forward. So you see our creep team is taking a lot of damage. Lings and Bane's going to continue forward. The Marines going to be here as well. The Hydra's still pressing through. A couple more tank shots and Bane's going down. Solar lagging. Excuse to start piling in.
Game resumed.
Spain's chilling out the front. Just going to be seeing the medevac top right. There's a few Marines inside this base. It very nearly went down. Don't think ByuN will be able to get a kill on it, but yeah, maybe he can still get a couple of the banelings picked off, right? If he just drops one Marine at a time and forces a response. This pause is very short-lived as now Hydras, Slings, Banes looking to press forward. The Bioforce turning back around. A couple more units dropping down. Queen's looking to come back in. Bane's going to get a wrap. The Marines... Marauders, I guess, over here going to defend. Holding Bane just coming across. That Bio is going to be okay for the moment. Just going to hold back here for a little bit as we have Queen still trying to put a little bit more damage out. The medevac in the sky. Queen's going to go down as well. The Queens, though, are dropping. So a few of these Queens going down. Now a hatchery taking some damage. Banes will crash for a few Marines. Now I am definitely seeing some lag as well. We've had so many issues with the Korean server lately, it's hard to know if this is the same lag as what Solar's feeling or just what in general is going on, because, yeah. Things come through. Depots are going to be in some trouble. Banes are going to crash in for a couple of depots as well. 19 SCVs going down, but we do knock down a base top right. Is that enough to make up for all the economy lost here? We got 9 of the drones. Solar still has 5 bases. Obviously, ByuN will have 4 once he gets his workers back up and running. He does have 2 extra CCs in the main base, which also means that reproducing onto the onto that base on the low ground there should go pretty well. A few more lings going down. Our hatchery going to be in some trouble. The Overlord's going to have to pull back, and here comes the Lingbane Viper, continuing to move on forward, jumping straight into the bottom side of this. Bio in the center. Coming back through as well as a few Zerglings taking damage. Bio continues up the right side, taking down the hatchery again. One Marauder in the front is going to tank through as many Banes as possible. So many Banelings being eaten by this Marauder. That Marauder ate like 9 Banelings. That was ridiculous as parasitic bombs going off. Bio is still being chased up to the top side. We just about managed to lift up and get away. The rest of the Bio coming over. Hydras and Banelings will be chased down. Three upgrades coming through on the side of ByuN, so still bringing this up. Still getting a lot of this running towards the tail end of this year. Gonna see our siege tank getting set up as well. I'm just gonna be having our medevac's gonna go on a bit of a journey across, and just in general, again, things are gonna be settling for a few moments here. As we have got our Hydras coming through, Banes as well, gonna be good to pick up a little bit more damage. Coming back around with a mine shot going off and just dealing a little bit. ByuN supply is absolutely terrorizing that of Solar's now, and the supplies have definitely fallen off a little bit. And as you see, Solar is about to hit lurkers. Usually Solar hitting lurkers is a great place for him to be. The problem is this time is I just don't think he's in a good enough position to really make that work out. I think this is just too much damage taken up until this point, and so he's probably going to end up in a little bit of trouble. Let's continue through. The Bio just going to go loading back up. The CC coming down, just getting set over here. A couple of crypt tumors will get picked off as well. A few ghosts and CCs are all building up. Again, Hydras, Lings, and Lurkers are producing on the side of Solar. We do have our Bioforce coming up the right and a couple of ghosts. Lining up some snipes at front. Lurker is already going down, so that's an instant pick here. Continues up around the right side as we need to be a little careful. Obviously, Solar could potentially roll down into that. Lurk is still holding out just up on the high ground for a little bit and Just waiting, giving it a few moments before we continue through. ByuN is going to let Solar kind of get back to being maxed. Has ByuN done enough behind all this to kind of be okay with that? He's obviously being harassed by these lurkers and everything as well, so it's one more thing kind of watching for. As Ling's coming wrapping around, that Marauder will drop. Ling's going to come back down to the south. Another Wood of Mine shot taking out a few Lings. Another Wood of Mine shot going to take a few Lings once again. And still seeing our cloaks, still seeing our ghosts. All of this just being brought up at the moment as we do have the lurkers still in position, getting rid of some SCVs, putting some damage on the planetary. Just slowly chipping our way through. Some bits and pieces are left over on this side of the map for the moment, so kind of wondering how that might end up in the end. Ghost coming out, ByuN obviously continuing to progress his army into a much better place. Period spread is pretty rough for Solar as well, right? He is in a position where he doesn't have a lot of creep too far ahead of his bases, so ByuN can really just wander up into whatever position he wants to. He can really just sort of say, oh, I'm going to stand over here. There's some ghosts in this drop even. That's how many ghosts ByuN is on, by the way, 20 plus. He can afford to put some into medevacs and just drop them around and, you know, potentially lose them. He actually does get the ghost unloaded from this medevac as well. I believe that was a manual unload on the ghost to guarantee it would be one of the things that got out here just towards the end. Ghost coming through, just going to be seeing our Lings and Hydras coming forward. A couple snipes trying to come down. We try to EMP the Vipers. I believe that did actually connect. It looked like it kind of missed a mid, perhaps, as you do see ByuN pushing to the front as well. The Lurkers are going to hold the position for Solar, and he is going to hold this game out. It did look as though maybe ByuN was just overwhelming him, but 17 minutes in, we might very well actually have ourselves a chance to see a longer game still. $400 for first place today, $200 for second. So you're looking to double your prize money coming out of this event with a win in this best of 5, plus all the qualification, etc. that I talked about before for WardiTV tournaments in the summer season and towards the end of the year is on the line as well. Things coming through, just going to knock down a sensor tower. Now a couple of ghosts trying to line up a few more snipes as well. Hydra's still getting shot down. In the upper left-hand side, we're going to push through this hatchery already in some trouble as well. That will go down as well. A couple of Widowmines, Marines, and Marauders all still being brought up as ByuN backs away from the left side. The hatchery being knocked down already. Being Hydra in the center of the map, getting set to go as well. More of these Lings coming around the edges. Well, snipes coming onto Overseers. Overseer is the kind of thing which once upon a time I always thought it was kind of funny to snipe an Overseer, but it is expensive to replace. You do need them in the army as the Zerg. They just eat up a lot of gas, and in this case even still a very minorly supply blocked off of losing one. And actually again, snipes on the Vipers. ByuN continuing to find value with these ghosts. The snipes are really popping at the moment. So good few snipes, get a little bit of damage being dealt, and ByuN continues to find value in this game. 9,000 resources lost ahead. And obviously in a game where he is not exactly being outmined or anything of the sort. He's in a very comfortable mining position, even going to send some snipes out right now too. Just getting those set up. There they go, a few Lings come down. The Ghost and the Bio will stand there and fight just a little bit. A couple Widow Mine shots to lead us into this engagement. How much is that going to do? Our Lings, our Banes, our Hydras all continue forward. As the Ghost will kind of just sit here. The Baneling's going to roll through. The Marauder's taking some damage. The Ghost as well. That's that turret's dealing a lot of shots off to those Overseers. And again, a couple of snipes just coming up for the moment as well as just bringing out as much of that as possible here. The Ghost still sitting on this low ground. Going to try and line some more snipes up towards those lurkers. Getting a few shots. Fungal Growth will begin to land also. Both players actually losing a chunk of supply across these battles. Solar and ByuN both have no money in the bank, so it's very much so just what they're mining at any point. Right now should be Solar favored. He does have 86 workers still, and he has access to the bases to use those workers. Of course, ByuN is... I mean, realistically, ByuN should be pretty okay as well. He's got the bases, he's not getting... As long as he doesn't let Solar mine from a base he's not allowed to mine from, and I think eventually ByuN does have access to every base on this map if he needs it. And I really don't foresee there being too much of an issue there either. Wings and Banes trying to come through. Widowmine shot goes off on the Zerglings. Knocking down a lurker here. The few Banes coming in on the flank of that army, and actually ByuN gonna have to do the lift to get out. But the Parasitic Bomb on the Medivac, he gets the split. The Parasitic Bomb found a higher HP Medivac, unfortunately. Splits away, so none of the low HPers go down there. Let's get burrowed up. A couple more snipes coming down. Lurkers will be forced to jump back up into play again. We do have a Bioforce going to go back around to the right side. Behind is going to go chipping through for a couple of moments. But diving forward, Overseer going to be taking a little bit of damage. There goes the Lurker picked off. ByuN supply really is the one that's not getting rebuilt as quickly here. Solar is doing decently. Still kind of closing in on main maxed out. It is truly incredible the turnaround that happens when Solar gets to Lurkers. Like, it's just like he's playing a different game. Like, the situations he survives and, you know, comes back from when he's playing Lurkers, to me, is just redonkulous. Like, he is able to do so much with those Lurkers. 6 ghosts left in the game is obviously not exactly a killer amount that we had previously either, right? You know, we've talked about before we had 20 plus ghosts. Now we only have 6. Each and every cast suddenly has to be used sparingly, which, funnily enough, is not something you usually have to think about with ghosts. Usually you can kind of just go all out. Parasitic Bombs are good to knock down a chunk of these Medivacs. What am I going to turn on to the Hydra? The few Balins, the Lings, trying to get on that Planetary Fortress. It will not bust through there, however. That will not work out. Coming around the right side, just going to be seeing the Ghost continue to move through. It's going to surround this Planetary Fortress. It's going to get knocked down immediately. 17 SCVs going down. A few Banes trying to move forward. I don't think ByuN is really bouncing back from any of these fights right now. As the Hydra's Vipers getting back into the center. I do think we're just kind of out of luck here as ByuN. He's just, again, Solar just finding these fights in the later stages of the game. I mean, he's basically kept resources lost at a 9k difference, which was so essential because at this point in the game, he's not mining more than, well, he was mining more, but he wasn't, like, mining off of more bases, right? Most notably, like, he wasn't eventually going to have bases that ByuN didn't. So it was important that ByuN didn't continue to find efficiency, because then I think he could have camped out. Solar, and now the pressure will be on ByuN. A red Terran in the bottom left-hand corner to bring this back around and try and get a win on the Zerg's map pick here, which is Ancient Cistern. That's going to be tough, because if Solar finds himself, he's up 1-0, if he finds himself a win on his own map pick, Solar could be very quickly just looking at a 2-0 lead, and then a very difficult series for his opponent to claw back into. Game number 2. Starting up then in this final today. Just a little reminder what's going on across the next few days, guys, is tomorrow we've got qualifiers for the WardiTV Summer Party. Friday, OSC King of the Hill. Saturday and Sunday, WardiTV Summer Party group stages. Monday will be ESL Open Cup Korea. Tuesday and Wednesday, we wrap up the WardiTV Summer Party. And then Thursday, probably not going to do too much. Friday, I'm away for the weekend. And then I'm away for Gamers 8 after that as well. So a busy few days, a busy week or so, until we more or less just get to the point where I'm gone for, probably gone for like 2 weekends, then I'll be back a few days. I'll be gone for one more weekend after that, but I'll be back for a few days of stream before I go away that weekend, so at least 2 or 3 days, so there's some busy times, but just going to try and sneak as many streams in as possible when we can. So, yeah, full heads up, that's what's going on, that's what's happening. Thanks for being here and watching some StarCraft today, of course. Do have our CC's coming down both sides. The barracks are building. So barracks number 2 and 3 coming up from... number 1 and 2 coming up from ByuN because he went CC first. So command center first going to give him that setup. Let's get that underway. Command center coming through. A couple queens, feelings all coming out. We'll see with the CC first, a little bit of greed to open up with, but it's the kind of thing ByuN is very used to doing. So we'll be seeing our couple queens coming out, orbital command, the tech lab on the way through. As do you have our factory to follow us up, so probably just going to kind of a 2-on-1 off this CC first. A ByuN classic. A lot of the time I feel like ByuN likes doing the Reapers on this map simply for the fact he can really control the game quite nicely. He can really sometimes take the advantage of the Zerg away enough to just put himself in a good position. And a lot of the time on Ancient System, that's all you need, like a good place to play from. That's very difficult to find a lot of the time as the Terran player on this map. So definitely a possible factor to some extent as Solar's going to strike up the conversation again here. Jump and Crack Base. Thank you so much for the 5 gifted subs to Borga711, Duke 8766765, DJ Pocket Change, Percy0402, and Bit Dutchy. Thank you so much, Jump and Crack Base, for the generosity. So this is finally ByuN's favorite build. Alright, Queen's coming through, drone's coming up. Let me see our stim pack is again about halfway along for the moment. Just trying to see where we're gonna get to for this next a little bit. Obviously, Solar is playing the combat, the carapace upgrade. I was gonna say is now ByuN is Reactor and Hellions. He's probably gonna get an Armory with this and make this a much more aggressive, all-in kind of variant. To say all-in, you not maybe all-in, but like you're very committed to dealing some damage here. So that is definitely a little bit of a factor. Marines in the center from ByuN just going to pull back. Like I say, that armory coming up allows you to have the Hellbats with this attack. So that's going to be his plan here with the reactor staying on that factory. That's the big discerning point from kind of what this usually would be, which would be reactor on the medevacs. You get a couple, reactor on the starport, get a couple medevacs up. Like I say, if Solar thinks this is 2-1-1 and he doesn't realize it's the Hellbats, it's very scary because you hold this initially with Ling Queen. Holding this with Ling Queen when your opponent suddenly has 4 Hellbats, that's splash damage you're not usually accounting for, and that is not just splash damage you're not usually accounting for, but also just tankiness you're not usually accounting for that will protect these Marines as well. He's brought the Hellions all the way across the map and the medevacs too. Solar doing nothing but building Zerglings here, and I do genuinely think Solar might be in some trouble. There's one Ling. Doesn't even have a Ling speed yet, by the way. Talk about a little bit of greed. As we're going to stim in, I think ByuN might just go hunting, because the third hatchery is tempting, yes, but even more tempting is a Zerg that isn't even going to try and defend a third hatchery. That generally says they're in some trouble. The first medevac goes down quickly. This is where the Hellbats are great, doing some good damage. The Queen target fire has been amazing, though. Wow. Good defense from Solar. Gets both the medevac, shuts down this army with the wraparound of Lings. Wow. Genuinely actually kind of impressed as ByuN. I didn't disagree with what he did either. I really felt like committing forward and just trying to jump on the units was not a bad call given the situation, and apparently that was the wrong call. So there you have it. Apparently that really just was the wrong call, huh? I'm kind of shocked. No, honestly, like Lings, I mean, I guess they had Carapace, yes, but Lings with Carapace just kind of wrapping around, I think the target fire and the medevacs quickly helped to take some of that healing out of the equation as well. And maybe ByuN could have just looked to kite a little bit before getting surrounded. He kind of let himself get surrounded maybe too easily. Just did not think this was going to be... I just did not think it was going to go the way it did, honestly. That was kind of wild. Alright, well, I'm just going to be seeing Reactors coming up, and I wonder if moving away from the third hatch as well was almost a bait by Solar. He was like, oh no. And ByuN's like, oh, you're running away. Maybe I can get more than just like a third hatchery. You don't have units. And then obviously Solar did have units. And then that meant that ByuN wasn't just sat next to the third hatch choked up. And it gave Solar a way to fight. Maybe a bit of both. Maybe the fact that he couldn't have fought in the other third because ByuN would have used the SimCity against Solar. And then kind of because he ran away, it did genuinely then still bait ByuN in a little bit further than he might have typically gone for. So, fun stuff. Some fun considerations as a factory finishing up in a second here from ByuN, sorry. So he's going to have a second factory in play. Fourth base is getting ready as we continue through the macro portions of this game. ByuN's still being aggressive, just trying to find some creep tumors, but again, with everything he lost before, it's hard to imagine he's really going to find a huge kind of successful fight that's really heavily committed to from either side or anything, so I feel like maybe a couple creep tumors, but that's the problem. You're playing on Ancient Cistern. Good Zerg map. Now the Zerg has had a pretty good start where they've been able to wipe your army out initially. And things got a little bit tougher from here as you get a cancel in this hatchery. The drones taking just that little bit of damage as well. Still seeing the 2-2 upgrades coming out also for the moment, so continue to bring that into play right now as +1 vehicle plating comes up as well. Getting all of this set. Extra barracks, widow mines, and drilling claws currently on the way out. Marines and Halberds chilling out on the bottom side. Just going to continue to press up towards the top. Now scan will come through to help us clean out some of this creep spread. I'm gonna say there's definitely something ByuN has to do, right? It's already a big enough map without creep being all over it. If you let creep be all over it, you're just gonna have a very bad time. At that point, you're barely even gonna get a chance to play the game, I think, in a lot of ways. Just come back around the right, just gonna be seeing a little bit of creep getting nipped at once again as ByuN just tries to find something. Solar straight up to the Lurker Den though, and this time he's not going to have any troubles pre-Lurker Den because ByuN didn't do well early game, so Solar can just straight away get to his biggest strength. And from there, we might just be in a little spot of bother. Bane Hydra around the bottom side. That is an army just chilling there from ByuN, waiting for its opportunity to maybe get something done. It's going to be seeing our 2-2 upgrades are. One thing that ByuN is also just lacking behind on, right? Another thing that's going to be in favor of Solar. He's going to have 2-2 versus 2-2. Well, okay, well, he had 2-2 against... Sorry, I missaw that. I actually thought ByuN's 2-2 was further away. I completely missaw that. I apologize. As, no, the 2-2s are now both on both sides. ByuN will actually get in towards his +3 quickly, although Solar shouldn't be too far behind because he has got high finishing. The Banes bust down the Widow Mines that get burrowed. ByuN not winning any of these little skirmishes now that Solar's actually taking larger fights. Forces the units to lift in the medevacs. Suddenly your units are in medevacs and not on the ground to help you deal with this. Banelings find a big connection. I kind of feel like ByuN's dead, actually. I feel like he is done. He just doesn't have that much left over here. Solar just going to wipe the floor with one big attack. And that, my friends, is how you take an advantage. And you absolutely do the running with it part of that. So, in the bottom right-hand corner, a red Terran player from the Shopify Rebellion down 0-2. Looking to bounce back. This is ByuN. Taking on the blue Zerg top left. Honestly been very good lately. It's so cool to see him playing at such a good level so consistently. It is Solar coming in to try and give us a bit of fun here. Going into game number 3. I have eyes on ByuN, I guess, to maybe set us up nicely. He's going to go low ground barracks, so obviously oftentimes indicates the Reapers, so we'll see if that is true or not. Got these barracks coming up then. Getting this set up at the moment, just going to be seeing a hatch gas. And soon to be spawning pool coming through. Again, a couple of barracks coming in. Just getting things up. Been rolling for the first few moments of this. Reaper barracks all coming through here. Just going to be seeing again a hatch up, spool, etc. being brought up for now. Just a little bit of getting set in the early stages. As yeah, second bag's going to finish up. Reaper's going to start on out of there. Start bringing this through straight away. Both those Reapers coming up. Once those Reapers pop out, we'll see a few more on the way as well. So, yeah. Getting to probably at least 3 Reapers here. Obviously, there was a little time. Sometimes there's 2 Reapers, then you kind of stop that has been done in the past. So, that is something to maybe look at just a little bit. As you have our Reaper going to go pinging away on a couple of links. Yeah, what's up? Integral. Sorry, Integral. For the 6-month resub on the Prime, for some reason I read your name is not what it was going to be, and so then I started to say it weird, and then it was a thing. Reaper's pinging, just going to be having our hatchery taking some damage. Just continue to put some damage out. Queen's just taking some shots already. Some bits and pieces getting punched around here. We do have our link speed is about to finish up. Things run in. Reapers are going to come through. Little grenades going down already as well. Just getting that set up. Reapers get pushed out once again. In these early stages, just going to be seeing our factory building up a tech lab. And that ready to go as well as our Reapers continue to kite. This is going to be why sometimes you lose a Reaper, but if you're ByuN, you have the ability to really get the most out of them. He does lose 1 in the end, but he's killed 11 Zerglings. He's been annoying. He's forced units early in the game. This is what ByuN's builds are so good at doing, just being annoying, being frustrating for the moment. Just coming through, a couple of links coming across, trying to jump on those for a couple of moments. When he gets there, Reaper taking a few shots. Just going to be seeing the drone. Does make a spore crawl to keep itself alive. It's the end of the Reapers. As they come to a close, 2 extra Reapers went down without any extra really gained by a little spore crawler force. ByuN on the way to that stim pack, on the way to those Marines, on the way to the stage of the game that we know ByuN is absolutely so comfortable in. Let's see if he can make it work for himself here. Two Marines popping through, a little bit of damage being dealt already. Let me see again, the Medivacs, Marines, stim pack all coming out, the engineering base coming up as well for these early few moments. Now that will be on the way through here on the side of Solas, just continues to bring that up. But shield's also coming out, it's just going to drop a little mortar turret down, so get that to be a little annoying for a couple of moments. Slow things down a little bit. You have our Marines going to get ourselves a nice little grab on an Overlord as well. They're just adding up the damage across the board here, actually. As the Queen's taking a couple of shots again, the Lings are going to come back over and try and wrap around these Marines, and they do force the lift up into the Medivac, so forcing the retreat away. Solar supply block currently, and ByuN also supply blocked actually both plays on. Well, 192 out of 90 the other 77 over 77. I believe we just called down a depot to free ByuN of this supply block, bringing him up to 85, which as a Terran player, you can see in the back of this natural, The Terran is always a good thing to do. It's much better just spend that energy on a cooldown depot and just get out of trouble. It's powerful, huh? Powerful. Marines load back into the medevacs. Away we go off over to the side. Still seeing ourselves 1-1 upgrades and combat shield building on through. Our melee upgrades and that baneling nest. Getting the baneling speed. In general, I just like ByuN's edge in this game. Solar's economy is good. His work count is very good, but the upgrades slightly favor ByuN. The bane speed's not really super quick. I feel like these first pushes... I guess if Solar can get through these first pushes without issue, maybe it ain't so bad. I'm just a little bit worried that... these first pushes might prove to be a little bit deadly now that these Marines already have their stim pack. We just don't really see anything on the side of the Zerg to help with that outside of just sheer number of units, which, to be fair, for the moment is apparently going to get the job done. We'll see how long that sticks around for, though, is the armory coming up. Going to be finishing very soon. Our units of ByuN are once again pushing, and this time it's going to be around the right-hand side of the map, so again, set up over there. Raven shoved away and just going to be seeing ByuN knocking down some rocks. Opening up this pathway, Lings. Looking to see if they can maybe jump on this. Seems like Solar is aware because he waited a little bit. Now he's going to come through, catches a couple of reinforcements, and the rest of this Ling Bane can continue towards the bases. Now we're going to get a real check as to what else is going on as the Lings and the Banes, they run on forward. Well, 11 SCVs already going down, but is that too much of an investment from the Zerg? Because at the same time, these Marines continue to press in over here. Hatchery will go down. A few more creep tumors going down. The Link's coming through once again. Going to knock down another couple of depots. Taking those all out of the way. Still getting those 2-2 upgrades brought up as well. It's just bringing all of this in for the moment. Now the Ling's actually getting a bit of a surround here. The tank's going to get left behind. Can't really save those in that situation. And ByuN supply blocked behind this as well. Not currently mining off his third base, so his recovery to this is all going to be a bit slower than it might usually be. Still seeing those 2-2 melee upgrades coming out. The Ling Bane is still being brought in. Infestation Pit coming through. And Solar just going to go back to defending on his creep for a little while, knowing with the Infestation Pit coming out, he's going to start getting into that better next stage of the game for himself that we've seen time and time again. Another scan coming by there. We do see our Marines just going to come in once more. Marines will go down. A couple of these drones getting picked off. Just going to see the Lings taking damage one more time. Thanks, fire. Again, still working around the left, coming through, forcing the medevacs to back away into the corner. So needs to try and keep on top of this movement of ByuN, make sure that he doesn't get away with too much right now. That position is good, the tanks are safe, and that's where Solar does lose out in just a couple of units straight away. So a couple of problems there. Marines hit the bottom left-hand corner, just going to knock through this. The rest of these Zerglings continue to drop down. That's a lot of Lings going down, actually. We do get a little catch in the corner, but Solar's supply drops a lot. He's got some money to spend, but a little bit worried these last few trades really have just not been it for Solar. He's about to finish 2-2, will be a bit ahead of the +2 attack of the Terran player. But the Terran player is going to force an evacuation in the bottom left base, catching a bunch of the Queens here. Apparently there's no Zerg to do anything about it. Solar starts a counter-attack. ByuN might just be about to claw his way back into this series at least a little bit, as the counter-attack will find a base cancel, sure, but I'm just not sure that's ever going to be enough. Solar is completely lava-starved as well, with 1.2k minerals, 1k gas banked, and just not being able to be, put anywhere. If that was able to be spent, it could have been a very different scenario as well. 20 Lings, 11 Banes coming up. The Adrenal Gland still coming through. Another Queen on the way in on the side of Solar. Serpents will get back to the center where they're going to knock through a set of rocks here. Marines will take down some creep spread, opening up the map once more. kill bottom left-hand side. Hatchery going down. Solar's not desperate for the money because, again, he can't spend his money right now, but obviously it's still not good to be seeing a kill like that coming through. That's obviously never going to be a good sign if you are in this situation. Still trying to get through here. Still no fourth base for the Terran players. Maybe the one bit of hope Solar's trying to hang on to alongside the Adrenaline Ultras. Making their way online shortly, but we don't really have the money to make many Ultras. I'm not sure that's going to matter too much at all. Right side base now gets killed as well. ByuN's aggression continues to succeed. Continues to look pretty darn good across the board, honestly, and just doing very decently right now as we do scan. Get a little bit more done. Bang comes back around the left side. Army down in the center from ByuN, moving across there. He's going to find the bottom left side hatchery. He's going to get cancelled up. Queen's find the medevac though. So I mean, again, some good news with Solar. Supplies bringing it back a little bit. Counterattack will not do much because you can't justify going up the ramp there. But maybe we can get some of the siege tanks. Friendly fire causes a second tank out of 3 to go that were exposed to go down. Still quite expensive ling-wise though, right? That definitely wasn't cheap. As now our ultras are popping out, and Overseer was morphing and gets cancelled. They decide it's just not necessary. Here goes Smelling Bang, gonna move forward once again. Now joined by the ultras. Do we have much of a response to ultras? I guess not really, right? This is a game which has been much more about the about ByuN just kind of keeping up the pressure, and he keeps on going. Probably didn't really feel like he needed to prepare for ultras, and without a single marauder on the field, it's obviously kind of true, right? Like, he really hasn't done. Only 3 tanks, and the 2 libs are nice. 2 liberators are nice against the ultras. That is one thing that will help you. It's not a guarantee. Solar trying to re-establish off of these 3 bases. ByuN has done a lot, but he's not quite killed his opponent here. Vipers continue in, just going to be seeing the +3 attack upgrade still coming up. The concussive shells is on the way through. Just trying to keep these medevacs back. Solar doing a great job of just minimizing what happens. Really trying to make sure that we just stop any amount of damage being done. He can't really afford to take any further damage on top of everything that's happened so far. Where are we at now? Still only the 2 ultras. It's not the scariest of the ultra numbers, right? That's the biggest problem, perhaps. That just really isn't all that much at the moment. As Burrito, thank you so much. 22-month resub. As we're here, 15 minutes deep, Game 3, ByuN Solar Grand Finals, WardiTV Monthly Open, July. $1,000 in total for grabs today. $400, $200 for first and second, respectively. He's going to come around the top. Just going to drop into the back of his main base, getting some extra damage done again. Medevac's getting hit by that parasitic bomb, taking some shots. Is going to go down. 3-3 still coming out. The army of ByuN continues across. And it's kind of difficult to really move into some of these older positions, but I feel like he is slowly chipping down the defense of Solar. He is slowly working his way into better and better positions here. Things are just slowly getting there as we do see our Queens going to go after, well, the medevac, and now after the Marine as well. So just going to pick that off. Bio, of course, has continued to push up to the top side. I'm just going to see a couple of these Banes getting picked off. The Viper's still coming through. Army in the center trying to see just what we can get done. A couple libs are still overhead. The rest of the army coming around. The Bio army is still pushing up. A couple liberators getting siege, and we do have ourselves the Overseers overhead. The Ultra's going down. ByuN supply looks too good this time. There's a couple of final banelings, but as they go down, the Ultra will fall. And ByuN is going to bring himself back a map in this grand final. He will not let us 3-0 end the day. He will make sure that this bottom right corner, starting us off with the red Terran player from the Shopify Rebellion, keeping our series, our finals alive. It is ByuN. And of course, Grezvan, a map that could potentially go quite long. Could potentially be quite a problematic one. Up left, up blue Zerg. Solar from Onside Gaming. Low ground barracks, no surprises on Grezvan. This was the OG map full of Reapers in this map pool. It's not surprised at all to see that being brought through again. T-Rex onto the low ground, getting that set up. Second rack's coming up as well as bringing that through. Extractor comes in. SCV just chilling at the front for now. Barracks is about to finish. Reapers on the way in. Bring those out, getting this all set. Reapers did pretty well for ByuN throughout this series so far. I feel like they've generally just put him into good positions. Second speed starting on the side of Solar, bringing that through. Going to be having our CC coming up as well, as we've kind of been seeing. Reaper coming right out to the middle of the map. He's trying to get us around on this Reaper. First Reaper felt like it was quite deep there, but of course, without link speed or anything, Reapers are usually pretty safe. This is going to be absolutely no different this time around. Get out of there, absolutely no issue. As a couple of Reapers will continue to poke onto this hatchery and a couple of grenades. Some more damage onto it again. This is actually quite bad, though. That Reaper is low. We just about survive against the Queens. Wow. That's actually kind of bonkers. We actually get into the main base. Reaper's all alive. Could have been so dangerous, man. That could have been so scary, but apparently not if you're ByuN. ByuN just takes it in stride. And it's going through. It's going to be seen how Reapers continue to trade out. One Reaper has fallen. Let's continue through. Let's continue across. A few Reapers continue to get chased. Gonna hop back up to the high ground. Trying to see a little bit of what's going on as we just have our Reapers. We'll finally go down. They've been active throughout, but honestly, I feel like people are getting almost better at dealing with these Reapers simply because of just ByuN doing this so frequently that they had to get better. Otherwise, they wouldn't have been able to get enough done at all. Back going in, just going to be seeing our Marines sat there, pushing the Lings back a little bit. Banshee and a few Marines are still coming through. I'm just going to be mining away once more then as the early pressure subsides, but how long will it subside for? Stimpak's coming in. Like I said, the Banshee is on the way up. This game is ByuN, no cloak or anything, just Maybe feeling a little bit afraid of potential roaches, I wonder? Interesting. Very interesting. Just a couple lings, a couple drones trying to set up engineering base behind this stem as well. Medivacs will stop producing 2 at a time. Orbital gets out of the third base location. Still seeing our 1-1 coming up as well, so bringing all of that out. A couple of barracks are coming in. Banshee goes up the left-hand side and is going to be able to just go through and pick its way through the drones. Work is picked off immediately. The Queen coming across. Banshee still taking a bit of damage. Banshee goes all the way through the natural expansion and gets another drone kill as well. It's a nice little bit of extra damage dealt. As the lag continues through, the extra drones and overlords all producing. Queens will press forward to knock down a creep tumor already, and still just getting set up. The Queens at the front there, taking a little bit of damage as that 1-1 upgrades the combat shield. All being brought into play. Our reactors are coming through. And let's see if these Marines can do anything on the right-hand side. In speed, 1-1, all just on Solar. He's quite far off as he just killed a Banshee, but he's quite far off really finding kind of like a proper set of upgrades and everything you typically have against this kind of bio play. So that might actually be a little bit of a problem here as the 1-1 in the combat continues up as well. Bringing all of this through for the moment. And load a couple of Marines, but that won't get very far either. As you just see our armory, our factory, all coming out. Widow Mines and Marines are producing. Medivacs just kind of chilling up to the top for a couple of moments. As more lings get set up on the third. Or fourth, whichever that is. You still have pretty good creep spread out the front, which I think is pretty good news, right? Creep out the front is generally a pretty big plus. As a bit of Ling Bane comes running forward already. Widow Mine shot goes off, a couple of Marines taking some hits, and we continue up the high ground. Queen will be going down. The Widow Mine just getting picked off as well. It's going to be seen 1-1 still going through. And as our Marines continue out and about, creep spread continues to drop. Lings and Banes gather up. We're going to get to the side. A couple of Queens going down as well. Medivacs will lift back up when we head back to the top once more. Already on his way to 2-2. You know those upgrades are typically going to be pretty huge for him. You know he's absolutely going to make the most of having them. The Widow Mine shot goes off. Medivac taking some hits. Banelings are going to crash into Marines again. That's actually a massive crash. Lots of damage done as the rest of the Marines and Mines continue through. Medivac's overhead as well, excuse me. Just had a little hiccup mid-sentence. That's always fun. At this point, it kind of feels like ByuN's just kind of flinging some things at Solar, and Solar's generally dealing with it pretty well. Solar's economy is decent. He's got the bottom left base coming up as well, and he's got decent creep on the map too. It's not being incredible, but he has stopped ByuN from getting into some of the more aggressive positions that people like to get into on Gresvan, such as that kind of middle low ground area that's oftentimes a massive target for the Terran players, so that's been kept away from us at the moment here. Cloud continues over to the left-hand side. A couple of Queens already in some trouble. There goes one. A few creep teamers going down. The Lings, Banes, and Hydras coming across. That's a Widow Mine shot, though. My goodness. Solar loses out on a lot immediately. However, we're working our way towards those lurkers, and every time he gets the lurkers, the game starts looking very different. Bane, Hydra all still setting up. Just going to be seeing our Bioforce out down on the bottom side here. Units coming through. The couple Banes are going to back it up a little. Chima's going down. Look, then finishing as you just have our Marines continue to send it through on this left-hand side. In they go. Running towards this hatchery. Target fires the one Baneling. Again, this is where Solar is dipping down 20 supply or so. He's just got to hang on in there. His road to Lurkers is almost complete. And again, every time he gets there, he just seems to power up a little bit. Lurker Den done. Hasn't started any Lurker upgrades, however. So maybe he's a little bit strapped for cash to be able to truly afford the transition. Bane Hydra coming across. Is going to be seeing the Hydras and the Banes coming through once again. Marines to get crushed. Great defense for Solar in the main base. Just what he needs, because that also takes away the attention then. He can fully focus on defending other points of this attack. As ByuN tries to find some drones here, but looks like that's another dead medevac, so he is getting some drones, but the tail end, the news story at the end is that ByuN is not going to have much left active around the map. However, he does knock down the 5th base. That's going to make Solar's life a little tougher now, because he's going to be missing production and a base to mine from that you typically have at this point as a Zerg. You can see the Terran's already getting up to base number 5 as well. And again, for the Lurker Den being done, Solar is not quite truly feeling safe enough to actually make a move into Lurkers. Which I think is very unfortunate because, obviously, again, he's so good once he gets there. Gets down there, Extractor is going to get picked up. It's going to be seen that Bio still pushing up to the top side. A little bit more creep going down as our Marauders are going to stem through. Hydra already getting picked away out here. The Lings, the Banes just coming on by. Bio will continue to sit tight as our Queen is going to get picked up. The rest of this army continues through. Parasitic Bomb lands on a medevac. Here comes everything else continuing through. The Lings still pushing over to the right. Just seeing our the rest of our bases still being pressured, though. Solar is not allowed base number 5. He's started to do pretty okay in that fight, but, I mean, ByuN, in theory, should just be amazingly set up at this point. He's got the triple CC coming up, so he's got all the command centers in the world. Not just triple, he's got 5 CCs coming up. There was just 3 in the main. So he's got all the CCs in the world coming online. Let's see a Widowmine shot going off. One Lingbane Hydra taking damage. We do go pushing with these couple of Banelings kind of continue to morph through. Bio pulling back into the center a little bit. Our drones are going to long distance from the 5th base. He's desperate to have that base mining. If Solar had kept a 5th base alive, I think he's in a very good position, but again, that's obviously something that just hasn't happened here. We have got Seismic Spidens done. We have got some Lurkers. Don't feel like ByuN could have asked for much more going into this state of the game. He really was set up nicely. So if he can't get it done now, it really is just a case of Solar is way too good for people to handle at this sort of point of StarCraft, so like I say, let's see if ByuN can find a way, as Solar has been pretty awesome at points of this in the past. Right now, ByuN's coming through. This is maybe just before Solar's really on again, that magic number of Lurkers. There wasn't really any up over here. Well, there's 4. There's still 4 on the map. As you see across the map, the Lings are going to get through and counterattack, but they're finding depots and engineering bases. They're not really finding damage. They've only just now killed a 2nd SCV. And eventually, I guess the depots are kind of not a bad thing to have as the Widow Mines go off. The upgrades are not really important, the engineering base, that is, because we've already had the 3-3 finish, so for counterattack, this was honestly pretty lackluster, and I feel like stopping mining on this base is not exactly the most meaningful of intrusions either as well, so just in general, I feel like that's not exactly what we're looking for. As ByuN is, do you lose the medevacs on the corner? So again, at least stopping those from getting out alive. ByuN goes pushing once more, so we're going to kind of set himself in a forward position. He has lost that creep to the low ground of that forward base, and if you don't have the creep there, it's going to be very difficult to contest that location. And if you can't contest that location, you know for a fact that that's going to become a problem. Things get in there, they get a little kill. I mean, that might have been a command center even. I think it was a command center that was just starting to build. ByuN can, you know, he's in the position to kind of afford that roughly. Actually doesn't have a huge bank, but he does have a lot of potential income. You can see that Solar is struggling to win the income advantage graph, which is never a good sign when you're 7,000 resources lost behind. So again, these are all things just to note. Ghosts coming through, a couple snipes lining up. The Vipers go down without doing a thing. It's going to be massive catches. Going to cloak up the Ghost right now. Ling, Bane, Hydra going, pushing on forward. Widow Might shot, not going to find too much just yet. Going up 30 army supply heading into this fight in the next few moments. This could be very, very scary for Solar. And once this wall tied up, the momentum will be in his court going into Royal Blood for Game 5 of the series. Fire finds the bottom left base pretty much undefended once more. More shots coming now, a little bit more being done. Melee upgrade's about halfway through as well here at the moment here from Solar. That's not really going to be enough to turn the tides, I don't think, as ByuN pushing forward. This forward base is going to be in more and more trouble. Solar's going to try and defend this little portion of the army now. Is it enough from him to push this back? He does force ByuN away, but then ByuN's dropping triple drop in the bottom left. It just feels like Solar has to pick and choose which base he actually keeps alive. He does get over here, base lives, but again, another 8 drones in the game where you're trying to just find every inch of economy that you can. Moving up, we find this hatchery as well, so that's going to be a big deal. Solar just again cannot keep up at the moment. ByuN has been in a good position for a long time. He's maintaining this position, and it really looks as though we are going to have a Game 5 in our finals today. We are going the full distance, unless Solar pulls off something of a miraculous fight in pretty much this instant right now. I think this might be too much. In fact, it is. ByuN is going to get the 2-2, finally finding the power to break through there at the end. And that is going to be, you know, a game company that's supporting some StarCraft. By giving us some money. Check them out. Put the link in the chat already. Matt Asuma, thank you so much for the 5-month resub on the Prime as we get going. These two were full of chatter earlier on. And it's been a little while since I've seen them going back and forth as this series got a little bit intense. Getting late in career as well, by the way. I believe it's just coming up to 2 a.m. right now, so these two playing into the night. Not that they are unfamiliar with that. That's something which they do frequently. Gun bottom left, Solar top right. 5th and final game. Once again, we're going to start off with the Reapers. Barracks on the low ground to get things going at the start of this. Well, it generally has been pretty good there, though, right? Like, I would say he's been pretty solid at making sure that nothing too wild comes of that. Hatch gas and a spawning pool coming in. A little bit of chatter here. I'm just going to be seeing our setup for the moment as we do have a couple of Reapers going through. I see a couple of Queens, a few Zerglings, all getting set up right now. So again, bits and pieces coming out right here. Again, as Zarling speed get going, the Reaper count's going to start increasing. ByuN not doing any of his super aggressive Reaper play. You know, we've seen ByuN recently kind of playing, you know, Reapers in so many different ways, including kind of just throwing, you know, 3 racks up and really going kind of like heavy bio behind it as well. All this kind of stuff. Been very fun. Yo, Hanlel, thank you so much for the £3 donation. Thanks for the great tournament and entertainment. Thank you so much for supporting it. Thank you very much indeed. It's been a fun day. It's been a great little monthly Open Cup. It's been a solid 5-hour stream as well. Always happy with those. It's just been a good one today, hasn't it? As Reapers come through, Hatchery will continue to take a few shots of damage. Reapers would really love to get rid of the third hatch. That would be such a major win for ByuN. Not sure you can really do that on the back of this amount of Reapers. Like, 3 Reapers shouldn't really be able to do that, right? In this case, it doesn't seem like they can. A few more Marines continuing out. Hatchery still coming through. Just going to be seeing our Reapers continuing away back through the middle of the map. Orbital Command, extra Marines, the reactor coming up, the stim pack getting built. All of this continuing out. Meal's just coming down. Do you have our Marines chilling at the front as well? Scan this set. Marines, Reapers, just gonna press forward a little bit. Engineering base coming out as well. It's getting a little bit up and running as we have ourselves the starport and the engineering bay all coming through. And Reapers poking and prodding down on the bottom side. And just seeing our army getting set here, going to come straight through, hunting down this Overlord. This is where ByuN obviously powers up a little bit. This way he gets into that next step of the game. Our Marines arriving on the other side. Let's double check Solar has made enough to deal with this. Again, at this point you've played so much against ByuN, it's almost like second nature having units ready at these kind of timings, ready to deal with these attacks that ByuN brings to the table so often. But shield +1 all coming up. Medevacs and Marines will continue out. Still got this group of Marines that are staying pretty active here and there on the map, moving forward a little bit, pulling back a little as well. Just going to be seeing our army pressing up to the right-hand side, and just going to be seeing our +1 combat, tank, Medevacs, again, everything just coming through for the first few moments here. Marines and Reapers come back around the sides. +1 attack, combat shield coming through. The Lings are going to take a moment and knock their way through a set of rocks as well. The Medevacs are going to come and put some pressure out to the top as well. So here we go. As we wrap around, scan comes out. We are going to be seeing the hatchery. As they're going to start taking a lot of damage. The Lings are going to be trying to press on forward. Hatch is going to go down. That's going to be a kill. We do load the Marines up and we do get away. Wow. That was very close in that Medevac, obviously, as ByuN losing a little bit, but obviously killing off the hatch, no cancel, is a nice chunk of money gone from Solar, so a nice little bit of value found out of ByuN at this stage of the game. And a little bit done here so far as our Marines unloading down to the south, getting themselves set up. Marines come forward, a few creep jammers going down, our Liberators are setting up as well, our Marines and a siege tank are still coming out also. So far so good. Thanks for firing up a couple of shots. Marines still chilling out over on this side. We do have our Queens pressing forward, still trying to deal some damage here. As our Lings and our Banes going to come over and see if we can get much done. This position from ByuN is really powerful, but not if the Banes actually get on top of the Marines, which they are not doing. Those Marines are standing strong behind the tanks. They are going to survive through this. ByuN is actually going to, I think, come out of this in much better stead. 2k resource lost in his favor, my goodness. That was a very, very scary couple of moments, right? That was absolutely about to be a little bit of a rough situation. But we kind of make it work in the end. That was, actually kind of scary, though. It's going to be seen. Our Marines, our Medevac's going to come across. We're going a little bit of a push as we have A few Banelings getting picked away at. Just going to be seeing our 18 Lings coming through. I feel like ByuN's got the momentum on his side. Not just in the game, but in this series. From 0-2 down, he's currently on his way to bringing it all the way back. Tanks will siege. They do get a few Banelings, but maybe not enough. The Banes go back towards the tanks now, trying to camp on the tanks. They can't stay there too long. Every Baneling is going to die. That's going to be a problem. Two drones going down still as Shibal says Solar. And he is obviously not happy with how this is going. He knows that this is going a little bit too far gone. Marine's going to load up into the medevacs. It's going to be seeing a couple of lips still coming across. It's going to be seeing the Queens are there to push the Liberator around. This lip going to siege up a few of these drones. Going to have to pull over to the side. Again, medevacs, tank, +1 armor, etc. all continuing through. And it's just going to be seeing our Lings still producing out. Melee upgrades still coming in. These reactors finishing on the barracks. And just getting ourselves fully set up here as the army of ByuN comes pressing forward. Going to get a little hatchery cancel right there. Bit more Ling Bane still coming through. The melee upgrade is about halfway done. Armory's about to finish up. Liberator still chilling out over in the corner. ByuN just setting up in supply. Equal drone count as well is really not where you want to be as the Zerg, who is being held back on just 3 bases as well still. ByuN just going to fight here. A couple moments back away. 6 drones dying as Liberator harass continues. And Solar just taking so much damage. He might kill these Liberators off, but again, it's damage already done. A few more drones going down. Solar has to replace those instead of making units in a game where you kind of need to make your units again already. These are just absolutely continued issues. With the Marines pushing back out into the center of the map. Lings and Banes pulling back once again. The Marines over here will unload and just going to go after the Overlords. This is going to get picked off nice and quickly. There's just nothing in this main base to really defend. We drop a transfusion on the Queen to buy a few moments, but Marines will just sit and fight. In the moment that it's troublesome, they'll just, lift on up out of there, right? Just get away. Straight away. Overlord in the corner will go down. Just going to pick that off as well. Just going to take that out. As you have our Marines going to have to run just slightly. Just going to lift up over in that corner. Get out of there for the moment. Queen's taking a few shots of damage. Marines will load back up. We will lose one more medevac. Supplies are starting to get a little bit closer together. Are we messing this up a little bit as ByuN has his advantage slipped away from him a little bit too far? Not going to go as far as to say that that's definitely the case just yet, but for a few moments it looked as though it was nothing but all about ByuN. And now Solar's trying to bring himself back into this, and it's scary enough for the moment. One more creep team is going down, just going to be having our medevacs here will unload. And a few of these Marines already beginning to get picked off. A couple more medevacs showing up again. Medevacs coming back around the right-hand side here from Solar. And another few drones going down. This is the biggest issue, is that the economy just isn't there for Solar. Like, the economy is nowhere near what it usually should be. That is absolutely being missed right now as we have our Lings coming through. The medevacs going to lift up and back away. A few more Marines going to stim on forward. Just going to attempt to harass this base. Drones already dropped, and the Lings and the Banes coming by. It's going to be seeing these Banes rolling through. Siege tanks are going to tank a little bit of the damage initially. Now a lot more of these Banelings continue to melt. Banes melting all over the shop, in fact. A little bit of Ling Bane running on the bottom side. Hydras are going to chase as well, trying to see what we can do. As it's just going to be a lift up. Again, 10 drones going down. ByuN supply is amazing. He's also 2-2 against 1-1 for a few more moments. +2 carapace will finish from Solar, but then we still have +2 melee, not quite there. ByuN completes the comeback. Qualifies for WardiTV 2023. Qualifies for the Summer Championship, and is also the winner of the monthly